Hello, my name's Sarah Beard and I own Dyslexia Solutions Online, which is a sister company to SJB Assessments, which you may have had an assessment through us. I know that you've inquired about dyslexia tuition and we are opening up more slots shortly. We don't have them readily available at this very minute, but we are towards the end of the term and then ready for September. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about the tuition and how it works. You have a meeting with me initially, and then you are matched with a tutor, and that tutor will plan an individualized program for the student. So it's not, just lifting a book off the shelf and teaching from that. She looks at the strengths and weaknesses and obviously takes into account information from the school, information very much from dyslexia assessment reports and where they are now. So, for example, if you've got a 14-year-old, you're not going to want that tutor working on the alphabet sequence. Well, it's unlikely unless they're very weak. So it will be based on the level they are, but it will also be closing up gaps. We often find that we have to go back with primary school children quite far with the phonics to be able to build those foundations. But the importance with dyslexia tuition is that it's fun, it's multi-sensory, and it's structured. And that's what we build upon. Now, some people say, how can you make it multi-sensory if it's online? Well, we can. We always use Zoom, which allows us to share our screen, but also the advantage of Zoom is that it gives us remote control, gives the student remote control. So if we're playing particular games, we can give them access to those games. We can get them to write on interactive whiteboards or PDFs, anything that different tutors use different whiteboards. I use bit paper. A lot of my tutors use bit paper. Some people use the Zoom whiteboard or other options as well. But the student will have access to all of that. Here are a couple of the games that some students might play. So we have access to, you get access to WordShark, which is worth about, I think the WordShark subscription for an individual is about £250 a year. So it's really worthwhile as you get that included if your student wants it. Some of the older students don't want it. WordShark's great. I mean, here, this was actually an older student, a Key Stage 3 student I was working with yesterday, and we were working on reading and where relevant, learning to spell these words. And there was then a choice of games. There's reading games here, spelling games here, alphabet work as well. Or for younger children, there's a whole structure of phonics. So, for example, if we're working on AR, you can see here, there's a list of words that we work through. We can give you access to this at home. As I said before, I often get the students often need more work on spelling than they do reading. So they may be playing, for example, the sharks game, which I'm just going to catch a shark and then I'll move on.
Park.
Park. Oh, I pushed the wrong letter there. Park. It tells me when I'm wrong. Some of the others don't actually tell me when I'm wrong. They're more of a test-based one. So, for example, here, if we were working on spell check or moving spell check, it will let them write the word as they think, and then at the end it tells them if it's wrong. So it's a structured approach there as well. Other things that tutors might use, they might use these letters. So you've probably seen dyslexia tutors maybe on the internet, or if you've had a dyslexia tutor before for your child, working with oh, it doesn't appear to be working. That's good, isn't it? Working with wooden letters on the table. So this, it always works. It always has worked. But at the moment, it doesn't appear to be. The letters come here and the students pick them up. Nope, seems it could be my Wi-Fi actually. Doesn't seem like it's working at all. The students pick the letters up and make the words. So the letters are here, they pick them up with their cursor, they drag them down and they spell the words. So there we're replicating working with letters on the table. Sorry that that isn't working. Something else we often use is word wall. We can make the activities in word wall or we can find them. So for example, I've got memory work that I've made, work on homophones. There's GCSE vocabulary here. These are a lot of the ones that I've imported from others and changed slightly. So we can do it for phonics. We can actually use WordWall for most things as well. There's lots and lots of other resources that we use. Quizlet is a really good one for working on study skills, where they get packs of cards with on one side the question and the answer on the other. I use Quizlet for doing phonic work, and I should have had that one ready. Quizlet company. Uh, Here, let me see if it logs me in quickly without wasting time. Do you know what? I think the issue is my Wi-Fi is slow at the moment. Um, so you're now probably thinking, what if your Wi-Fi is slow when you're tutoring? Well, we overcome that problem by using an Ethernet cable, but I just popped on quickly to do this video, and I didn't plug the Ethernet cable in, so I should have done. So that gives you an idea about some of the activities that we use. We also like children to have a whiteboard. If we're working on a particular game, maybe with a younger child, a snakes and ladders game or something for spelling, we'll get them to move. We've got an interactive snakes and ladders. We'll get them to move. We'll say, how do you spell shark? And they'll write it on their whiteboard and they hold it up. So it's not all computer based. It's not all typing. There is written work as well. They'll complete dictation. They'll hold it up to us. Sometimes it's hard to see. It might be that you need to WhatsApp that or email it to the tutor. So it is multisensory and it's fun, structured, multisensory and fun. The only thing that can be a little bit tricky is teaching handwriting, because it's nice to be sat next to the child to see handwriting. Sometimes the tutors can work around it, though. Everything else is entirely possible, and often children feel much more comfortable in their own home. They're not having to come out on cold nights or be dragged out of the house for that. It's easier for you as a parent as well. We have been running a small tuition agency since just after COVID. I started my online tutoring during COVID, realised how effective it was, and then began to recruit tutors. So that's how it works. The costs you will have received the costs. We do 60-minute lessons, sometimes 50 or 45-minute lessons as well. They're weekly. Unfortunately, we can't offer fortnightly because students don't get the overlearning they require. Homework's optional, holiday lessons are optional as well. So I think that gives you a little bit of an overview about the tuition. Certain tutors work with certain age groups. So I have some tutors who prefer primary age children, some who are happy to work with the Key Stage 3 secondary, lower secondary age. And I have two tutors only currently who work with the GCSE, the Key Stage 4 learners. That is slightly more expensive, and it is probably less, if I'm honest, less multisensory. But it is very much geared towards the skills they need for GCSE. And for some, that will be working possibly on a dyslexic study skills focus, addressing maybe GCSE English or literature. We don't currently have any tutors for maths at that level, but some of our primary age tutors do maths as well. So that hopefully gives you a little bit of an overview. Any questions, just get in touch with me. Once we have a tutor that we think will match with your child, we arrange a meeting with me. I go through the terms and conditions. I tell you about a little bit more. I answer your questions. And then before you finally make your mind up, you have another Zoom meeting or a telephone call with the tutor. So I never place somebody directly with a tutor without you having met that tutor. That is really important. And we always consider the first 4 lessons as trial lessons. Now, you do pay for those, but it means that if by week 3 you think this doesn't work for your child, then you just have your 4th lesson and there's no long-term commitment. In terms of long-term commitment, once those 4 weeks are over, you sign the contract and we ask for 4 weeks notice if you want to give up. Very often people carry on for many years though with dyslexia tuition. It isn't like a set course, because it progresses from, if you start with us as a primary age child, it can progress all the way up to supporting them with GCSE. Maybe that involves changing a tutor, but we have the facility to do that. Okay, do get in touch with me if you've got any questions at all. And thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.